Hey, what's up? It's your girl DaniLeigh, and I'm with Saige Jones.
So Dani, thank you for being here. You do pronounce your name DaniLeigh, right?
Good job. Yes.
Okay, because do
A lot of people say DaniLeigh, yeah.
Okay, I was definitely a victim of that for a minute.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I like DaniLeigh. It's cool.
Thank you.
So let's talk about social media first. So you had what, like 100, starting this year, 100-something thousand followers on Instagram?
Yeah, I was at 189
That-
before I grew. Yeah.
And then now you're at like 600,000 something? That's so crazy.
I know.
That's so dope. And so do you attribute most of that obviously to having good music, but the In My Feelings challenge video kind of sparked that?
No, definitely. That day I posted a video, I gained 200,000 just in a day, so
That's so crazy.
definitely was like a big day for me on social media.
And so something like that, how do you take that, do you take that as validation for yourself? Because sometimes, people are like, don't let social media actually affect the way you feel, your self-esteem. But at the same time, when you gain 200,000 followers in a day, that obviously is going to make you feel good. Yeah. How do you have a balance with social media?
Man, I think my page is super positive. Like, I feel like I really get good feedback. Like, I don't have that many like haters, I would say. You know what I mean? So I don't. Even if I do have those type of comments, like, I don't really take it as whatever. But when that happened, I was like, oh wow, like I really wasn't expecting, you know what I'm saying, that at all. So I definitely was like, oh, that's lit.
Hell yeah.
People like it, cool.
And do you have a goal for the number of followers you want to hit next by a certain time, or you don't think like that?
It's funny because before I was going on tour with Tiana, I had the 189 before the challenge, and I was like, okay, I want to get to 200,000, like, at least. Like, let me try to find a way to gain 10,000 real quick, like, before the tour. But now, I mean, I just really want to hit that milli. I haven't, like, set a goal of, like, when or whatever, but that's what I really want to go for.
I think you're on your way. I think it's, like, very soon.
Thank you.
So let's talk about Triller. So when did you first hear about Triller?
Actually Instagram, I think, put me on to Triller. Like, I guess I just saw more videos, people posting from Instagram to the page, and I saw a lot of videos of Lil Baby, so that was the introduction that I got.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. So can you guess, and you don't have to if you don't want to, but can you guess how many Triller videos have been made to Lil Baby within the app?
I have no idea.
And am I saying it right? Do you pronounce it Lil Baby? Because Drew says Lil Baby.
Lil Baby. I know, a lot of people say it different ways. It's just the way, I kind of have like a country accent when I did it. I was like, Lil Baby.
Okay, so I don't sound completely off by saying Lil Baby. Okay.
Yeah,
All right, so there's been about a little bit over 23,000 videos made within Triller to Lil Baby. That's 23,000 videos to one song.
That's fire.
It's so crazy. And then within the app, basically, I don't know if you know all the featuring, but there's been over 1 million views on the featured videos to Lil Baby. So that means there's still a ton of other videos that have been made with however many views. And then that also doesn't include, the 1 million doesn't include everything reposted that you see on Instagram.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool.
That's super cool.
It's impactful. If you could, what would you say to your Triller followers who are out here killing it with their videos that they're making on Triller?
Yeah. And I would just say thank you. Like, I think it's cool to see people just get creative, like, with my music. Like, that right there is special to me, They could pick any song. They could pick Cardi. They could pick Beyonce, like Drake, but then they're picking my song. So the fact that it inspires them to do something creative is really cool to me. So
hell yeah.
Thank you, guys.
And this kind of touches on the same point, but what is the value that you see in Triller as an artist?
I mean, I think, social media just in general is just so important nowadays. Like, I think that's how artists get by, is just by, social platforms. So Triller is one of them, and I'm grateful that Lil Baby's going crazy on there. Like, I really didn't even, honestly knew, how much, impact is having on that app. So the fact that I'm not really on it and I see that, I'm just like, wow, that's incredible.
Hell yeah. I love seeing it. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have a new album coming. It's called The Plan. End of this month, November 30th, right?
Yes.
So talk to us about it. I'm curious what the plan is, what it all involves. Just talk to us about it in general.
Well, pretty much, the plan is pretty much my story. I have a lot of records on there that's just, saying everything I've gone through, my plan is to take care of my family. You know, I've been hustling since I was 16 out in LA, so that's in there. You know, different relationships that I've gone through, you know, love and heartbreak, things like that, and just, you know, having a good time in life, you know what I mean, and just being positive and a good influence. So that's all in the plan. I got 12 records on there. I show pretty much my versatility as an artist. That's what I wanted to do. I got my R&B side of Dani on there. I got my little trap side of Dani on there, and then I got a whole Spanish song. So I just wanted to showcase who I am in this album, and I feel like I really did that. So
cool. And Blue Chips is coming tomorrow, November 15th. So why did you decide to release this one along with Lil Baby as the singles?
I think, you know, honestly, my whole show set right now is everything on the plan. So like a lot of the music that I perform right now is like unreleased. So people just are kind of just watching it for the first time.
Oh,
and
cool.
The reaction, that I get when I perform Blue Chips is like crazy. So I'm like, okay. And then everyone always tells me, oh, that song. I just think that song is super different, and I think I really like, you know, it's like a whole different sound to me. So I wanted to showcase that side. I feel like Lil Baby had that side. Blue Chips had this other thing. But honestly, like, with the album, I just feel like overall, there's so many different sides of me that I'm just curious to see, like, what people choose. So I don't even have, like, a single off the project. I'm kind of just letting the fans, like...
Okay, so you're not even calling them singles?
No, I'm just like...
Okay.
And I'm very visual anyway, so I'm going to probably do visuals to everything, so it's like everything will stand on its own and see just whatever goes up, you know?
And so most artists, I feel like, typically are very confidential about what they're going to release, and maybe you haven't officially released Blue Chips, but you're still performing the songs at your shows.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interesting strategy.
Yeah, I know. I guess, but I don't know. I feel like these songs are really like the type of vibe I'm in right now, and I feel like, you know, I just feel like I've grown as an artist, and I want to just showcase these songs, you know what I mean?
And you don't mind sharing it with your fans and getting their reaction? And
no, because at the end of the day, it's going to come out anyways, so it's like,
yeah.
as well, like...
And it's for them.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, like I don't see things as like keeping it so... I don't know, it's different for everything. Of course, some things need exclusivity, but I don't know.
Cool. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but I thought this was super dope, and I'm very much a, you know, the universe is bringing certain things to certain people kind of person. So, you saved Lil Baby as a file titled Lil Baby featuring Lil Baby.
I did.
And now you...
17, yep.
Okay, so a year ago, or maybe over that, and now you actually have a remix out with Lil Baby. So talk to us about speaking things into existence.
It's real. It's super real, because that really was the whole plan. Like, I really wanted that to happen, and it just so happened, you know, that I ended up meeting him through social media, through IG, in a sense, and like it ended up happening. But I told him too, I was like, yo, like I said I wanted this like before, like when I first did the record, so it's crazy it happened. So
that's so sick.
It's real. You really can speak things into existence.
Yeah.
Out there,
That
believe it, yeah.
That inspires me, because I believe in that, but also sometimes in tougher times you're like, you're like, is this real? Is this real? So when you hear
a story,
it just makes it like it solidifies it, which is pretty cool. You also had Lil Baby recorded for a while before you released it, right?
Yeah.
And it seemed like it was kind of perfect timing to release it around when you started really popping with your In My Feelings challenge video. Is that just you think that's like a perfect place, time and place kind of thing? Coincidence? Destiny? Fate? I don't know.
Yeah. I think, you know, I was, like I said before, I wasn't expecting what I got from the challenge, but at that time, I really was planning on dropping Lil Baby. So it was kind of like perfect. Like, yeah, I never, you know, I had it plans already to drop Lil Baby, and then I was dropping the album. So it just so happened that I gained all these followers. I was like, perfect. Thank you.
So it was sort of part of the plan, but it just coincided with...
Yeah, it helped everything.
Everything coming. Yeah. That's awesome. Okay, so I have to ask about Prince. I know the story, and you can, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but you directed one of Prince's music videos. So I'm curious, what was the video that he found online that actually made him discover you?
You know, he never told me.
He never told you?
No, he never told me what it was. I always wanted to know, but he was like,
So you've asked?
yeah, I asked him, but he never told me. He was just like, he just kept it to himself, I guess.
Okay, interesting. And what was your relationship like after the video?
After the video we were tight. Like, it was super cool. He lives in Minneapolis, so I didn't see him as much, but he came to LA sometime. He'd rent out theaters, and he'd invite my family. We went to like some Spanish restaurant in LA before, some salsa dancing restaurant. What else did we do in LA? And then he ended up like flying us out to Minneapolis as well. We went to Paisley Park, so I got to spend time, and you know what I mean. And he was like a mentor for me. Really.
So he was still looking out.
Yeah,
consistently.
Definitely. After the video, I was in a group at the time. He put us on like the Essence Festival. He paid for like 3 music videos, so he was like funding us too, like investing in us. So
that's sick. And if he were here right now, what would you say to him?
I would just say thank you. You know, I think it's so cool that he's part of my like story. You know what I mean? So it makes me feel like crazy, like, you know, because he's a legend. So I would just say thank you.
And does that ever come back to the same, like, something's looking out for you, be it like God or the universe or something?
Yeah, it's God. Always.
That you were chosen out of anyone he could have found a video for?
Yeah, I always look at that. And even with the In My Feelings challenge, I'm a huge like Drake like fan. Like, you know what I mean? He's a big inspiration of mine. And I got to meet Drake after the challenge, and he was like, yo, I'm glad this happened for you, because you're doing your stuff. You dance, you sing, you got a personality. I was just like, you know who I am?
Yeah, that's so cool.
I'm getting all these little cosigns from like legends to me, and I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
Keep going, Dani.
And at the end of the day, for you, I mean, those things feel so good to get that validation.
Yeah, confirmations, yeah.
But you also seem like you've just had this confidence in this. You exude some sort of confidence, and like you're a star even a year ago. And I saw you at the Jeremiah Ty Sign listening party. I was just like standing there, and you walked by with a couple of them, and just like your vibe, I was like, this girl just like has this energy.
Yeah.
Is that just always been?
Yeah, I would think so. I think even as a dancer, like, because I was just dancing back then, like, I wasn't really, like, that into my music. I was focusing more on my dance, and, like, anytime I would just go to auditions or anything like that, I always try to be, like, the best in the front. Like, I don't know, I just like that, and I don't know.
It's so cool. Yeah. And I know you also had talked about I think you've called yourself shy when you were younger.
Oh yeah, even with my singing, I always thought like, so my little sister, she's like a crazy singer. She's like,
is that Amanda?
No, Brianna.
Okay, do you have a sister, Amanda? Or is that a best friend?
Like best friend, sister. Everybody thought we were sisters.
Okay.
But we were in the group. That's the group I was in.
Okay.
But I have a little sister, like a real little sister, and she's like a crazy like Beyonce. Like she sings like crazy. So we used to be in my mom's restaurant, and like she would be the one like belting, and I'm just like, I don't sing. So I would just be shy, like, you know. I think I found my pocket of singing, like, and like my strongest, you know, vocal abilities, like, as I was older, and like, found the confidence. I'm like, oh, I kind of have like a little rappy type of tone that I could play around with, and then I found that like what exactly my voice is. So, you know.
So was it one sort of moment, or was it just over time you figuring all of that out?
Yeah, just over time. I think just playing around with different records and like different tracks and seeing what I can do with my voice, and like really realizing like my falsetto is real strong, like, and my like rappy melody type vibes is dope, and then so like knowing my strongest pockets and like tapping into that, you know. And
then practice makes perfect kind of thing. Cool. So you used to, I mean, I'm assuming that your full name is Danielle Curiel, and it sounds like you used to go by that maybe when you were a dancer. So
yeah.
So when did DaniLeigh come about?
So I mean, a lot of people called me Dani.
Okay.
Clips. Yeah. In high school, that's when like Dani started, and my middle name is Leigh. So, you know, when I was really just looking for like a artist name. Like, I was like, I want something cool. I thought Dani was too short. Like Google would just be Dani. Like, it's probably a lot of Dani. So I was like, oh, maybe I just combine the two. DaniLeigh. I was like, that's pretty cool.
Cool. I call myself Saige Jones. That's my first name and middle name, but it's not my last name. Everyone always asks me a similar thing.
Yeah,
So,
I like that.
like-minded. And why didn't you include spaces in your name?
I don't know. I just wanted it clean, like just one word. I don't know.
Okay.
I've never been asked that question before. I thought that was interesting. I was like, oh. I don't even have a real answer for that. I just wanted it all together, I guess.
It's cool. It makes it more unique too, I think.
Thanks.
So there's a story about Tiffany Haddish and how she had just become friends with Jada Pinkett Smith, I think because she did, Girls Trip together. They did Girls Trip together. And she was going out with Will and Jada, and she's like, going out with Will and Jada, blah, blah, blah. And she's like popping now, but, not there fully yet, like Will and Jada. And she picked them up in her Honda Civic or something like that. It was like some sort of like, she wasn't in a Rolls Royce.
Yeah.
So I want to know, being that you're pretty poppin' now, but I feel like you're about to get to that next level, like next level. Have you had any sort of similar experience where you're sort of on the brink of these two different lifestyles?
I mean, I can say like I have like a Toyota right now, Corolla.
Hell yeah!
So sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to pull up in this car, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
People are expecting me to pull up in something nicer. I'm just like, I can't wait to get my nice car. But it's all due time, you know what I'm saying? That's, I guess, one situation where I'm like, all right, I'm ready for a car. Like,
yeah.
I need that for just for look, like in a sense of,
Mm-hmm.
like, I just want to feel good in a fire car. Like,
But you're still confident in what you're driving, and it is what it is.
I mean, I wouldn't say I'm confident in it. I'd rather, but it's cool.
So it sounds like you are kind of at that place where you're like, I need that next level.
I need a car now.
Yeah.
I need a dope car.
Yeah.
Guys. Yeah.
Cool. That's interesting. I'm
Yeah.
glad I asked that. Okay, let me see. Let me make sure I touch on all of the really important questions. Okay, so you danced for Meghan Trainor, and I think you were deciding whether to continue on tour with her or pursue your music. How do you think that decision could have gone differently had you made a different decision? Or how do you think that how do you think where you'd be now would be different?
At the time where I was making that decision, I had met with a couple labels. So I met with LA Reid at Interscope. I mean, not at Interscope, at Epic, and then I met with Interscope as well, and then I met with two at Def Jam. And, that's when everyone was interested. I was at a point of just kind of like wanted to just focus on music, because the dance was just taking so much time away from it, but it was paying my bills, so I was just like, all right, I need to figure this out. And, I think if I would have gone on tour, that would have been a couple more months, like, of, I don't know, who knows, because at that time, it was literally, like, Tu signed me, like, maybe, like, a couple weeks after. Like, everything was so fast. When I met Tu, like, he met with my family, like, a week after. Then we came to New York, like, 2 weeks after, and then it was, like, signing time. And
So that's someone from Def Jam?
Yeah, my
okay.
A&R. So, yeah, so the tour, I think, was the end of the month, so I had to make the decision quick. So, like, I literally had to make the decision in, like, a week from meeting with Def Jam. So, at that point, I was just like, hey, man, this is what I want to do, so I just got to do it. Like, I got to believe in myself at this point.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so being that you danced for people like Meghan Trainor, artists like Daddy Yankee, Pitbull, I think, how has that taught you how you want to be at the forefront as an artist?
I was dope. I think I'm, like, grateful for, like, starting like behind the scenes, I guess you could say, like background, before stepping into being like the main person. Just seeing like how different teams operate, I think was a dope experience of just like, I started with Meghan like before her song blew up, so I got to see like from the beginning to like huge pop star, everything broke, you know what I mean? So I got to see exactly what she needed for as far as a team to move around, and then just like how different things are handled, like, I got to like peep and like learn.
Yeah, and take what you want. And what's your relationship like with her now?
Good, yeah.
Still friends?
Yeah.
Keep in touch? That's cool. So I feel like I've definitely been to shows where I'm supporting my friends who are trying to pursue music, and sometimes there's no one in the crowd because they're just starting off. I'm sure at some point you've probably been in a situation like that where you need to keep your energy up and act like you have a huge crowd. Have you been in a situation like that in the past?
For myself, like a show with me?
Yeah, like when you were your first shows that.
Yeah. I've done shows now, like, where it's just, like, 10 people as far as, like, a radio show or something. It's small or intimate, you know?
And how do you keep your energy up?
It's a little weird, because the thing is, like, my shows are so hype.
Yeah.
I, like, need some energy. Like, I'd be, like, going crazy dancing. But I know how to find, like, those type of shows and, like, balance out, like, my, like, hyper type of shows. So, yeah, I think more intimate shows are a little bit more, like, I guess, challenging, because you really gotta, like, tap in with each person. Like, you see everybody, like, you know.
So it's not easy.
Yeah, I don't think it's easy. Like, it's not. I'd rather have a bigger crowd.
Gotcha.
Than a smaller crowd.
Gotcha. And is Lil Baby a specific person, or is it kind of a general term like Boo or something?
Yeah. I mean, I do be calling someone Lil Baby, but it's like a general thing that I could say. Yeah.
So even if you said thank you next, the next person would still be Lil Baby?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right, let's see what else I got here. Okay, so I saw something where your dad had said that he really wants you to stick in the career path that you're on. And so many parents would probably say, hell no, get out. This is a hard career path. How have your parents influenced your decision to be in this industry and continuing with it?
Well, my parents are the reason why I'm here. Like, seriously, like, my parents are the reason. My mom, she moved me and my little sister first to LA. We were signed to a dance agency back in Florida, in LA, so we would kind of go back and forth, and it was just too much money to do that, so we were like, let's just stay like a month in LA. Ended up staying 9 years. So things worked out for us, but no, my mom, she's super involved. She's a manager, so she manages my little sister and helps me with my stuff too, and like, you know, my dad, he's just a big teddy bear, big supporter. My parents are real happy with, you know, everything that I'm doing. Like, they're real supportive. My mom wanted me to just do Spanish music, though.
And you said, I can't just do that?
I don't want to do that, Mom. And then it was always a big fight for us with that situation, but she always tells me now, like, I'm really glad you got to stick to, like, the music you wanted to do and make, and she supports it, so
yeah.
She likes it now, so she's like, I'm like, see, Mom?
Yeah, cheers to that. You got to do what you believe in.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to someone who's deciding whether to pursue their career? Maybe if their parents aren't supportive like that, but they feel a passion for one thing.
I mean, it's all like a game as far as, like, you got to have a good team. You know what I mean? As an artist, you need a team to help you facilitate, because you can't do everything by yourself. So that's a good start. And just making sure you're dope, like, at what you do, working hard. And social media is a big thing in this game. So get your numbers up there and just, believe in yourself.
Cool. I feel like you're always smiling and you always have good energy. Is that a conscious thing?
I think that's just me. Like, I hear that a lot, and I think I'm just a happy person. Like, I'm just grateful, like, to be living life.
We woke up today.
Yeah, so I hate negativity on some, like, I hate fighting, like, I hate all that. I'm just like, why?
Yeah, positive only.
Good vibes.
All right, so a couple more things and then we'll wrap up. Fuck, marry, kill. Lil Baby, Drake, Justin Bieber.
Okay. Lil Baby, Justin Bieber, and Drake. I'll probably marry Drake. That'd be great. I'm just playing. You know.
You can't go wrong.
Lil Baby. I wouldn't want to kill Lil Baby. He's fire. I'm sorry, Bieber. You have to die.
Killing Bieber. Okay.
And I guess I'll fuck Lil Baby, but it's not really my type. Like, that's just the option.
Okay, I gotcha. What's your favorite quote or saying?
My favorite quote or saying, I would say, like, what's my favorite quote? I like to say inspire to inspire. like I'm just inspired to inspire people, and I feel like I do that with my music and what I have to say. So I got a tattoo on me too.
Oh, cool. So that's definitely the one. What do you have to say to the person who taught you work ethic?
My mom.
And what would you say to her?
I would say thank you for being so hard on me, because my mom's tough. She's from New York. She's Dominican. She instilled that in my brother and sister, so we got that from her from a young, early age. She made us work, like, she made us do everything. Like, even just with music, like, she made me write. She was like, you need to write. If you're going to be an artist, you need to get publishing, you need to do all this. I was like, okay.
And would you listen to her, or would you be like, oh, no?
No, eventually, I listened to her. It was, at first, I guess, getting introduced to the studio and stuff, like, we had writers, so they were kind of, so I was just in there cutting records. But now I write all my stuff, so I'm like, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you sing, dance, write. Am I missing anything?
I act. I haven't tapped into that, like, the focus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I've gone to, like, I'm with an agency, so they'll send me on some certain auditions and stuff, so I'll be doing stuff like that sometimes. I actually did, like, a little, like, feature film when I was, like, 18 or something. Yeah, and I was, like...
Was that with the girl from Cheetah Girls?
Yeah.
What was that called again?
The movie?
Yeah.
What was the movie called? Dang.
If you don't remember, it's okay.
I can't remember it right now.
Okay.
It was like a dance movie, though. It was kind of like a perfect role for me.
Perfect combo.
Yeah, I was like a dancer in the movie. I was like the lead as a dancer.
I think I might have seen some clips of that.
Really?
I think so. Because I was like, is this the girl from Cheetah Girls?
Yeah, I was so young. That's so funny. And I almost got the role of Honey, but Tiana Taylor got it. It was like between me and her.
Really? Damn. That's cool that you were still cool after.
It was before the tour, so it was funny how things work, you know?
Yeah. So if you don't like this question, it's totally cool, because sometimes I hate when people make me choose between two things and you love singing and dancing. But would you choose singing or dancing if you had to choose?
Well, I chose singing. If you think about it.
Yeah, true.
You know what I mean?
But you get to incorporate both.
Yeah, so it works out.
Is there one thing that you say to yourself every morning or every day? Is there anything you always consciously do for yourself, especially being that you've been so busy?
Yeah. You know, sometimes I forget, but I really try to, like, give thanks to God and everything like that every day, just for another day, and just, you know, the blessings and stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Try.
And what's been your biggest lesson, I'd say, in the last 6 months, since things have been pretty crazy?
Yeah, everything has, like, changed, like, from 6 months ago to now. So I'm just grateful. I'm just, like, just seeing things, like, you know, happen now, in the sense of, like, okay, getting the recognition, seeing, like, more accomplishments and things continuing to go up and up. So.
Have there been a lot of trials and tribulations, like a lot of emotional moments through it, or mostly positive?
Mostly positive, honestly. Mostly positive. I've been in a good space, like personally good. Like, I'm real focused. I'm in a great place. I feel like everything happens at, like, the right time for me.
Yeah.
Everything is aligned.
It seems like that.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And this may be me just, like, drawing a conclusion, but judging based off of your vines, like, from, I guess, a long time ago, is it a family affair to scare your family in the car when they're sleeping?
I forgot about that. No.
Okay.
I haven't done that in so long, but those are funny.
Yeah, they're super funny. And sometimes you'd scare them, and they'd literally, like, wake up and not even be scared. They'd be, like, rolling their eyes at you.
Yeah, I gotta watch those. That's so funny.
What was your first job?
My first job was at my parents' restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, I was 14. See, I started real young, man. I was 14 hosting, and then I got into, like, serving when I was, like, 15.
Okay.
So everybody thought I was 18. I was serving alcohol and everything.
Oh, shit.
I always looked older as, like,
Yeah.
a kid or whatever, so, yeah.
How long did you do that for? When did you stop working at the restaurant?
Well, when I moved to LA, I was 16.
Okay.
So I was there for, like, 2-3 years.
And did your parents still work when they moved to LA?
No, they actually ended up losing the restaurant. That's
Okay.
actually one of my, like, biggest dreams and goals, is to build the same restaurant in LA, because it was, like, such a good restaurant. And, like, they pretty much dropped the whole restaurant to move to LA for us.
Damn.
My brother and sister, so
So what, after like the month, your mom was kind of like, we're probably staying here, move everyone else here?
Yeah, and then pretty much my dad, he was the cook, and, you know, my mom was the manager, so she wasn't there. And then, you know, it was just hard to, like, facilitate it, so they ended up losing it, so.
And they were all cool with moving to LA, though? And they just got different jobs?
No, my mom just, like, focused on us with helping our career and stuff, and literally like just off of dance gigs and off of different gigs is how we paid rent and stuff. So it was a struggle. Like we finally at that point of being good, you know what I mean? So yeah, it was a struggle for years.
And how many kids? You have a brother or two brothers?
Older brother
and a sister.
And my little sister, yeah.
And who's the closest person to you in your life?
In my life?
Yeah.
I'll probably say Anna, my best friend. She's also my makeup artist.
Oh, cool. Was she the one who was like, why are you making that face? What do you need?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. And it's cool, like, mixing work and friends?
No, it's cool. I think, I feel like everybody around me is, like, friends, like, in my team, so it's cool. But, I mean, like, yeah, pretty much. Because my dancer, she's actually my friend since years. So, yeah.
Cool. In 5 years, who would you want to have under your belt as far as collaborations?
Drake gotta cross the list. I want to work with, I think Rihanna would be dope. I think that'd be fire. As far as like big names. And then as far as like just like my generation, this, like I think Black is dope. I would love to do something with Janae. I think we would do something dope. I don't know, Bryson Tiller, I really want something with him. Kendrick Lamar would be fire. J. Cole would be dope.
And do you have a 5-10 year plan? I think a question like this is super important for someone like you, because I truly believe that you're gonna be something really big. And I really think it's gonna be dope to be able to look back at this and be like, yes, and like watch it actually happen.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, honestly, I feel like as far as like my inspirations on my career path, I feel like Rihanna is a perfect situation for me, or a perfect idol for me. Like she got her makeup thing going on, her fashion line going on. She was in movies. Like I just want to follow a career path like that. I feel like I could offer all that type of stuff as well. Like having my own businesses, like with the restaurant, and then tapping into movies, and even tapping into shows, having my own makeup line, having my own fashion line. Like I just want to do it all, like
And you think you can have
whole name,
Yeah, and you think you're gonna have some of those started in the next like 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hell yeah, I love that.